Hi, I'm Choueiri, Digital Research Director at Choueiri Group, and today we'll be taking you through our 2021 predictions. As we enter into 2021, the media world finds itself at a very significant turning point. Politically, economically, technologically, and definitely socially. So what's next? Well, the future has never been an easy thing to predict, but the unparalleled nature of this year had just made it even harder for all of us. Over the course of 2020, which was an exceptional year, we had to forget about everything we had previously predicted and everything we knew. To start from scratch, we had to be agile. While it was a challenge to be proactive, we did our best to become extremely reactive and creative in the solutions which we've put in place for our clients. Our predictions for 2021 should therefore be considered as guiding steps towards relative uncertainty. Our findings are aimed at helping you reach and connect with your audiences, clients, and stakeholders in more meaningful ways. And the insights we have gathered will hopefully enable you to sustain business growth and come up with creative ideas in the coming year. Amongst our predictions, we'll tackle 3 different topics. On an industry level, ad spend. From a digital angle, data and measurement. And the most important thing that we'll be ending with is consumers' behavior, which sits at the core of everything that we do for us as marketeers and brands. So starting with our first topic, it's the industry prediction. 3 key elements we'll be talking about. First, the overall industry in terms of spend. Second, TV ad spending and what's going to come in 2021. And the third one, it's about e-com, which is a booming word. So starting with our first prediction, from an total overall industry perspective, we do see that the overall spending will be flattened in 2021. However, on that specific stage in 2019, we do forecasted that 2020 will be maintained in terms of spend compared to 2019. However, we've got hit so hard by the situation where the industry dipped significantly in terms of spends. Moving forward and having the cure that's going to be probably distributed, hopefully by beginning of next year, we see a maintained level of spend in the industry, having digital to gain more in terms of share, where we forecast its share to reach 48% of the total industry. The second point in terms of predictions will be TV. TV ad spending to flatten in 2021 after a recovery in 2020. To put it in context, the pandemic played in favor of TV. Viewership recovered and surged significantly during the course of this year. However, that surge is highly attributed to the fact that people stayed at home consuming more TV content. As a result, TV regained its audience attachment, but the most important thing, it attracted new viewers. Moving forward, we do believe that TV will remain stable in terms of spends and share of spends. So talking about the third prediction, which is e-com, definitely e-com will continue to be a word that holds significant weight. Talk about the first fold when it comes to e-com, the MENA retail e-com sales will reach a new height in the coming 2 years. Digital transformation of the region's retail sector will see e-commerce jump significantly in the coming 2 years. And when we talk significantly, we talk about 80% increase compared to 2018. The whole pandemic played a major role in digitally transforming the shopper. More and more went online during the whole situation. And from a recent study done by Choueiri Group in Saudi Arabia, 25% of the current Saudi online buyers are newcomers. It means the industry is acquiring new shoppers, whereas the others, the 75%, increased their buying frequency, but the most important thing, they diversified the number of categories they bought online. The second fold when it comes to e-commerce is from a ad revenue perspective, and that's a new area that e-commerce is tapping into. E-commerce ad revenue to become the real threat to the digital duopoly. What do we mean by that? If we take, for instance, the US market and focusing on Amazon as an e-com player, Amazon ad spend surge in 2020, it grew by 41% compared to 2019, whereas Google had a growth of 1.4% and Facebook a growth of 12.4%. So the situation accelerated its growth, where consumer shifted towards more and more buying online than ever. and where performance was the main KPI for brands to survive the pandemic. In our region, Amazon is here, and it's significantly growing. And recently, it opened its Saudi hub, but the most important thing, they opened their own agency. Moving forward, Amazon, along with the other e-com players, will be tapping into this industry and definitely will be taking share from the digital pie. Moving to our second topic in terms of predictions, which is data and measurement. 2021 will witness an accelerated shift towards first-party ad economy. What does it mean? After GDPR, CCPA, and now with the APPI in Japan, along with Google plans to phase out support for third-party cookies, and the recent announcement from Apple, which is the IDFA opt-in overhaul, we faced a new challenge and we stepped into a new beginning of a new digital era. An era where consumers are the owners of their data and the decision makers on who can use it. As we buckle up and move to 2021, two perspectives will shed the light on. First, targeting. More solutions will emerge. Currently, most of the solutions that are available in the market are still work in progress in order to increase accuracy and scale. The move to next-gen DMPs, along with the multiple identity solutions, which is vital, yet has its challenges. Driven by consent that is independent of third-party cookies, and where the main challenge for it is the scale, became super important and essential for cross-device tracking. 2. Measurement. We will see more pressure on measurement solutions to cope with a cookieless world. And the absence of third-party cookies, which is vital for an accurate attribution model, where brands can assess the impact of every touch point on the performance of a campaign, marketeers, along with publishers, will be looking at new hybrid measurement solutions that can track their performance. Advertisers will be slowly moving towards incorporating incrementality models into their overall analysis, and with the latest announcement from Apple, we are likely to witness this transition sooner than expected in 2021. Ending it with our third topic, which is the consumer behavior, that sits at the core of everything that we do as marketeers and brands. We'll be talking about three different sets of predictions. First one, the new media consumer that we're facing. The second one, the rise of the new hybrid shopper. And the third one, the user experience. 2020 was an exceptional year. Consumer sentiment was changing on a daily basis. In 2021, audience behavior will be more complex and difficult to crack than ever. So starting with our first prediction, the new media consumer that we'll be facing in 2021, which we call it the periodical media consumer. The consumer that we've been talking to and communicating to during the pandemic won't be the same post-pandemic. To put it in context, as brands and marketeers, we've been addressing the periodical media consumer, and that's gonna change. These media consumers had a non-linear consumption habit, and this is based on the fact that they wanted to entertain themselves while staying at home. Their time spent increased on every single video content platform. TV, VOD, digital video, you just name it. But at the same time, they become super expert in their content selection in a very fragmented media scene. How long these habits will stay? What's going to be the implication from a brand perspective? But the most important thing, from a media brand angle, how media brands will maintain or retain their users or viewers, and from brand angle or an advertiser angle, what will be the implication on their media buys. Talking about our second prediction, which is the new hybrid shopper. From a recent retail study done by Choueiri Group, we have seen a significant acceleration in consumer shifting to online shopping due to the pandemic. Based on consumers' own predictions of what the future will look like when shopping, they expressed their willingness to stick to online shopping, and that's from a general angle. Definitely, there's some exceptions, without dropping their offline shopping, which is part of their culture an integrated element in their daily lives, as stated by them. So let's take the luxury industry as an example where the hybrid shopper significantly increased. We all know as an industry, it was mainly driven by the offline purchases, the bricks and mortar, given its product value and the personalized experience that shoppers seek. In an ever-changing landscape driven by a forced change on the brand and shopper side to buy online, the luxury consumer purchase behavior changed. In a recent study conducted by Choueiri Group and part of what the future will hold for luxury, the share of dual luxury buyers is predicted post-COVID to increase from 8 to 18% in UAE and from 9 to 22% in Saudi Arabia, and where the offline purchases is set to dip from 80% to 47%. And now, with our last prediction, the user experience, which is the lungs to sustaining brands' digital shoppers, brands, and with the digital transformation that happened, they need to create a human connection online. Today, we are talking about a digitally experienced shopper, where one bump on their purchase journey can divert them from the destination they are buying from. How brands can offer a seamless experience and a personalized experience from the moment consumers are searching into receiving the product in an industry that became very fragmented and where experience defines success and retention. With predictions comes tons of questions. Will consumers continue to embrace the habits they acquired during the previous 9 months? How will their behavior and priorities shift once the vaccine is introduced? Hopefully. Will the vaccine also play a major role towards defining what the new next normal will be? Or I don't know what we should define what's going to be the word normal. So there you go. We have done our best to predict what 2021 will most likely hold for all of us. But then again, we're not really fortune tellers.